Hi everybody, this is Jamie from Jamie's Hooked. This is Vlogmas Day 6, but today I'm going to do a tea review. Um, so if you watched yesterday, I got in my crochet surprise box and then they had a tea, and the tea that the brand that they often send in is called Jasmine Pearl. It's a brand, and this one is called the Anniversary Blend. And so I thought maybe I would brew some and kind of tell you about the tea itself. Um, so let me go ahead and show you how I brew. And it's a loose leaf tea, so when you open it up, there's not any tea bags. So it's a loose leaf tea. So it's going to be little pieces like that. So just kind of, showing you if you are not familiar with using loose leaf tea. Alright, so what I have is I have a very small French press, and this is how I brew tea. Now there's more than one way to brew tea. I mean, there's multiple ways. You can buy reusable tea bags. You can fill them yourself. There's like this little spoon thing where you can add like tea to it, and then you can just like stick it in your cup. You can get a bombilla, which is a Central or South American straw. Typically they're made out of some type of wood or metal. And what it is that they make the hot tea, then they put the leaves inside the cup, and then you just sip it through this particular type of straw. It's got like a little mesh square at the bottom. I used to have one, but I don't know what happened to that thing. I don't know if we still might have it or not. I haven't seen it in a while. I haven't seen it probably in years, but I know what one is, and we used to have one. Ours was metal, and we kind of had to wait for the tea to cool down a little bit because it was a metal straw, so it got kind of hot. Anyway, so that was one way of brewing tea. There's also like a little tea ball, which is like a little mesh ball on a chain, and then you can kind of dip your tea into the hot water, once you fill the ball with the tea. Anyway, I'm using a French press. This really, really works out well. And so I'm just going to pour my tea. But it's still hot. Kind of give you an impression of the flavor. So it really does have a very strong kind of chicory, licorice kind of flavor. And I don't drink any kind of sweetener or sugar in my tea or, honey. I used to drink honey all the time. Not anymore. I've always been able to drink tea straight, always. I've really never had an issue with the bitterness of tea. If you steep your tea too long, longer than maybe 2 minutes, what that's going to do is going to extract the tannins from the tea leaves, and that's what makes it really kind of bitter. So you don't want to, you want to kind of just brew it just the right time frame. So, I mean, so you can just kind of get the full effect of your tea leaves, namely your black teas and your green teas. I'm not sure on white tea though. I'm not sure if white tea does that kind of thing. But anyway, um, but it's not bad. It does have kind of like, it's got like an apple undertone in a way. And it's so funny is that there's not any apple in this thing. I don't think it does. The description, I'm going to bring down my glasses. The description on the outside of the bag on the front, it says a knockout blend with notes of orchard ripened apple, spiced vanilla sugar, and buttery pie crust. I don't know if you would describe it as that. I mean, it does definitely have like an appley kind of flavor, but there's no apple in it. Not that I see. I don't think it does. Oh yeah, it does. I'm dumb. Anyway, yeah. So the first um, ingredient is apple pieces. I'm stupid. Anyway, and then it's cinnamon. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but cinnamon has a natural sweetness to it. Um, I drink an apple cinnamon tea almost every day, and it's just the natural sweetness from the cinnamon in it is just enough for me. Um, and it's also really good. It's an antioxidant. It's really good in helping your blood sugar. There's something about it just helps regulate your blood sugar, so it's really good, especially if you're like diabetic or if you have blood sugar issues or something. So it's just really good for that. Let's see. And then the next ingredient is called honeybush. So I've never heard of honeybush before, and so I looked it up online. I just Googled it, and really what it is, it's a bush from South Africa, and it kind of has the smell. It has like little yellow flowers on it, and the smell of it, it says smells sweet like honey. Therefore, the name honey bush. And but you brew the leaves on the honey bush, and they kind of give off a sweetness as well. Um, so I've never tried that before, not that I know of. And then there's rooibos is the next ingredient. Now I've had rooibos before. It also has a kind of a vanilla-ish kind of uh, sweet flavor to it. It has a natural sweetness to it. It kind of has a vanilla. To me, it tastes like vanilla. Um, Not quite. I mean, it is a distinctive flavor, but it kind of has a vanilla undertone to it. But it's actually pretty good. We've actually made iced tea with it before. It's not bad. It's an herbal tea. It has no caffeine in it. It's actually pretty good. It is also from South Africa. It's actually an evergreen there, and it's pretty good. And it kind of has like a reddish color to it. So whenever you ever brew it or drink it, it has a reddish color to it. Let's see. And then the next is, what is that? Oh, chicory. So I've had chicory before, but I never really knew what chicory was. You can find it. It's actually pretty common here in the United States, especially in the South. Now, being really close to Louisiana, Louisiana is really known for putting chicory in their coffee, and actually, even chicory is even used as a coffee substitute. It has a very distinctive flavor. You know, I don't know how to describe it. I mean, chicory just tastes like chicory. Um, some people really like it, especially with coffee. They just kind of go together. But what I did not know that it's a plant that's or an herb, a flowering herb plant that's really closely related to dandelions. And I've heard of actually people having chicory greens um, to put in a salad. I really can't say I've tasted chicory greens, um, but I wouldn't turn down the opportunity to try one or some. But it's typically a plant that's related to the dandelion. It has usually a blue flower on it, a real light, pretty blue flower. But when most people use chicory when they roast it for like tea or coffee, it's the root, and they'll roast it or bake it, then they'll grind it up, and then put it with tea or coffee. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Um, let's see, and then it has also has carob. Now I've known about carob since I was a young teenager. I was raised halfway through my childhood by my dad, and he is definitely like an all natural foodie. And so he would introduce all kinds of things to me as a kid. So I really knew a lot of these things that are like super, food fads that I was eating like, 20, 30 years ago as a kid. I was eating kale and I was eating quinoa way 20, 30 years ago before everybody else was on this, kale and quinoa bandwagon. And so, this was a thing that we were doing. We would eat millet and we would, and carob was also one of those things that uh, we tried to explore. I actually even have some in a can in my pantry right now because I picked some up. And but carob is it's 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 like a tree slash bush. It's like a um, kind of plant, I guess, and it comes from the Mediterranean. And it's part of the legume family, and legume kind of means like bean or pea. But it makes these pods, and then what they do is they take the pods and then they roast them and they grind them, and it makes like this, like this powder, and it kind of tastes like chocolate. Not quite like chocolate, but very similar. And so, though, if you want to replace chocolate. If you know anybody who loves chocolate, but they can't eat chocolate, they're allergic to it, they can most likely eat carob. It's not going to affect them. It has a chocolatey flavor. And again, it's not chocolate. It tastes very similar to chocolate, but it is definitely not chocolate. And some people actually like it. I mean, I find it okay. I like exploring with it. Um, you know, uh, this is something I would like to try to explore more with. Let's see. And let's see, that's the other ingredient. And it's got orange peel. And orange peel and carob and the chicory all really kind of go together. It's like a good combination. All the flavors really like to play off each other really, really well. And let's see, what's the other one is sarsaparilla. Um, okay, so I've always heard, like in old movies, give me a sarsaparilla. And sarsaparilla, some like, old Western movie, somebody in a bar asking for a sarsaparilla. That's what I meant. Anyway, so I've come to find out what it really is, and it's like this vine that grows in the Caribbean and Central America, and it's just a vine that grows. And I'm not sure how they prepare it. I didn't kind of get that far into the description on Google, but it kind of has like a root beer kind of flavor. It's like the predecessor to root beer. So if you like root beer, you're gonna like this. Root beer kind of has like that vanilla kind of flavor, but with something else. I can't quite describe how root beer just tastes other than it just being like, root beer. But anyway, or kind of like vanilla and licorice together. I guess that's maybe a way how to describe it. I don't know. But anyway, that's what sarsaparilla is. And so, um, and I guess you can probably still find sarsaparilla soda somewhere. I'm sure you can find it on Amazon somewhere. I'm sure of it. Amazon's got everything, right? Anyway, and then the other one is natural vanilla flavor. Oh wait, and then there was nutmeg, of course. Everybody knows what nutmeg is. Um, and then it also has sweet blackberry leaf, and that's basically the ingredients of this tea. And it's got a definite strong aroma. The flavor is it's okay. It's the chicory that's I'm not so sure about. Like it really does work together. But you've got to really like chicory, I think. I mean, that's just what I'm tasting. I can definitely taste the rhubarb. I can taste the chicory, and I can taste the apple for sure. Maybe a little bit of vanilla in there, but that's mostly what I taste. Definitely the chicory. It's really strong flavored. It's not bad. You just gotta like it. Anyway, so I just kind of give you my little tea review, my little I love New York cup. I've been to New York. I've been to Manhattan. I went there for a destinational wedding, and it was my first and only time since then to be up in New York City. And it was a fascinating place. It's, um, yeah, I had a whole bunch of pictures on my phone, and they all got erased somehow, some way. And I don't know how it happened, but it did, and I did not back it up. And I'm just fit to be tied because I lost all those pictures of that wedding and pictures of New York itself. But anyway, well, can't cry over spilt milk, right? Anyway, lesson learned. Back up your your videos and your pictures. Um, somehow, some way. As soon as you take them, back them up. Well, y'all have a good day, and see you around, or see you tomorrow, I guess. All right, bye.